And hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm again here, and I want to discuss about the COPPELIA syndrome. Okay, and what is this COPPELIA syndrome? So maybe you are surprised to hearing that, but this is a very interesting theme. Sorry. After long hesitation, long meditation, I decided to make this video because it's so similar that also in Jehovah's Witness organization. And but what is the COPPELIA syndrome? First of all, I want to explain that what is COPPELIA, or who is COPPELIA. In Germany, COPPELIA was a robot. Okay, he was a robot, and this robot, he was programmed. Yeah, this was a programmation, and he speak, and he do his stuff. And one day, begin to explain people that he fall in love. Okay, and everybody begin to mocking about himself because his story was unbelievable. So no sense, though nobody could believe that. But okay, people let him the robot to speak, and this was the story. But this poor robot, until his whole life, robot life, he every time he said that he fall in love. Okay, and in the same time, of course, he believed that he is a human. Yeah, and why I speak about that, I will explain you. Because when we explain this COPPELIA is this robot I explained, and when we explain the COPPELIA syndrome, is the syndrome of a robot that he have a deficit of human. This deficit is constated by human being. Yeah, and the person lose, if you want, lose all ability to feeling, lose all ability of sentiments, and he really have a behavior without feeling, without nothing, like a robot, like nothing, empty, cold feelings, no feelings inside. And for this is called, very cold people are called that they have this COPPELIA syndrome. And recently I read the book, and I don't know if you know this book of Fabrice Collin. This was the name was the face of humanity, and this was written, the human potentiality, the human potential, if you want. Okay, and this was very interesting because we laughing about that, but this is the same. This is the same identification with the COPPELIA syndrome. Let me just to explain. In this book, I read about a human that his name was Humberdin. Humberdin was the name, and this guy, they lived on planet Mars, and he had a friend. The friend was the name Oliver, and they walked. They had a a petrol station. They had a small petrol station, and they had a difficulty to pay everything. So they had very big financial difficulty. And this guy Humberdin decided in secret to sell his arms. Okay, one arm first. He sold one arm, and just they had 4 weeks to find money before the petrol station was closed. Yeah, and one day Humberdin come to the petrol station to his friend and say, listen, he showed his arm, yeah, and Oliver, his friend, was very surprised what happens and say, no, why you do that? And he say, listen, we have no more financial problems, and for 30,000 credit, this was amazing money, because it was a lot of money. He sell his arm, yeah, and so the petrol station could be maintaining, so could leave, yeah. And this was very interesting, because the young Oliver, the friend from the partner in this business, he talked to Humberdin and explained, say, listen, I want just to say to you that this is a big problem for us, yeah. This is a big problem for us. If you, I do not want such money, you know, and I do not want to lose you, because they know that people, they amputed an arm and begin to use this mechanic part of the body. So they was called cyborg, yeah, and an organic being, human or animal. They made also animals. They was transformed in cyborg. And when they was changed, the animals, they was begin with the dogs and cats and rats and all this stuff, and they begin this organic being. They begin to lose. They have still their origin. They have the conscience of this origin, but they alterated this origin. So they more and more lose the humanity. He loses his humanity, and this was called the Coppelia syndrome. Yeah. And for this, Oliver said to Humberdin then that this was not a good idea to do that, yeah. And he was Humberdin was very surprised. Say, what, you tell me this is nothing? The humans are this is not true. This is not this and that and this. And the things was that. Humberdin was very happy to have this arm in this metallic arm, because he was very strong. With this arm was very strong. He was 10 times stronger than with another arm, yeah. And slowly he began to make the nonsense, yeah. Slowly he sold another arm and the legs, and begin more petrol stations, and slowly begin to be a really cyborg. Yeah, he was not more really human, and in this situation. A lot of problem, because he he cared about Hambadin, and he was very bad to deal with this situation, because one morning Hambadin arrived and had 2 legs, and the 2 arms was metallic, and when Oliver say that when Hambadin arrived, he changed the eyes, the watching was changed, was not more this human, this normal feeling, human watching. He was something strange, was somebody who watched in nowhere, yeah, watching in empty watching, and sometimes he was every time earlier on the station, and sometimes really was late, and he had nothing, no feelings, no communication, and begin to not more to discuss, yeah. So begin the communication, begin to have less and less communication. Begin with the time to lose the sentiments. So he had no more sentiments. He does not trust in nobody more, only his own reasoning. So this was not more important, only his own reasoning, and very cold, and the interest was going only on this petrol station, yeah. This was the most important things in the life than anything else, and this is really the same as I see, as in the Warsaw organization, that when you long time you are in this organization, you begin to lose every interest what is outside, everything, you begin to lose that interest to relax, you lose every interest, you are just there, go with a caddy, you take your caddy, you stay on the street, and you watch in one direction, and no more sentiments, no more nothing else, you have this empty person without sentiments, without, you stay on the caddy, the whole day you stay there and you say nothing. Today I observe the Jehovah's Witnesses, they stay on the cart ministry and say no words, they watch, sometimes they speak a little bit, and that's it. And in this book, again I come back, Hambadin lose all interest in other people, and was just only the petrol station the interest, yeah. And when now he had patience before, they go together, playing plays together, bowling and billiard and fishing and whatever they do. He abandoned all, have no more pleasure and nothing, just the interest on the station. And Hambadin had a girlfriend, yeah. She was called Lania, and with the time, also Lania was taboo, was not more important, so also not more, doesn't care about Lania. Before going out, take a drink, have a drink together, speaking, laughing, and all this humanity is disappeared. And Hambadin does not more speak, no conversation, and when he speaks, was only to give commandments, yeah. Oh, do that, make that, and do that, okay. And despite what he begin to be, this somebody, Oliver say, yeah, he could forget what this for a person was. He was a good person, and they was funny. They made a lot of funny things together, and he couldn't forget that. Yeah, but Humber didn't forget everything. Yeah, and he do research about this Coppelia syndrome on the websites and whatever. He wanted to help him, but Oliver watched that more and more people, the time passed, they lose more and more and more their humanity. And one day was more complicated than others. One of the last days was what I read in the book. He arrived on the petrol station and had nothing more of his humanity. He lost everything. He was very cold. His arm and his legs was very cold, feel cold, because say Olivier, he touched them and was so cold. This was everything cold inside, yeah. And he say he was so cold that also his heart begin to be a metal heart. You can imagine this expression. Okay, I read it in French. I don't know how to say in English so beautiful, but in the deep inside of this person, also his heart begin to be cold like a metal, yeah. And now he say, Oliver, the syndrome, the Coppelia syndrome, beat him 100%, because not only that his heart begin to be cold like a metal, but also he doesn't smile. He smiled no more. He lose his smile. He lose the crying. He doesn't cry more. Yeah. He was not more had no iniquity. Yeah. He was not more, no problem for him, was nothing, no problem more. Yeah. And had no enthusiasm. Yeah. And Oliver say, my life, the life of Oliver, for Humberdin was indifferent, was not important. And for him, all human life was not important, but just the business, this petrol station was important. No more feeling, no more, nothing else. He even forget what his friend Oliver is Oliver. What his friend? What is in which direction he go? Humberdin doesn't put questions more. He doesn't question more nothing from Oliver, and at the end he say, he just forget me. And when we go back a little bit and we watch this Warsaw organization, when I walked in this organization, I every time see, first of all, the elders was so, the elders was with so phlegmatic, so a distant feeling toward each other, this hypocritical love. Say, oh yes, you are a good brother, you have this quality and that quality. And in fact, of course, yeah, he say beautiful words, but behind these words was a very cold feeling, no humanity behind. This all just playing. They play this image to say to you that, oh, what you are important. One time an elder come to me, the baby elder come to me and say to me, "Oh, Ludovic, you are a very, very precious brother for us. You know, you a very observe brother. Everybody observe you, and give me a lot of nonsense. Congratulations, you." He commend me. "Oh, what a good boy being I am, and what this qualities and that qualities and that qualities." And I understand that this all things was just for saying me that I just I should take off the pictures from Google, and I had an old address, but I don't know how I can take off that. Yeah, so I have no more address. I don't know how I put that on the internet. Yeah, and this was just to say me that. Yeah, and when I made the balance from all this stuff, all these things, is the same with Jehovah's Witness. Yeah, this Jehovah's Witness organization. This is not more important. What you have, what you do, this all things is not more important. They are sometimes a sister are forced by an elder to organize somewhere a picnic, yeah, a picnic with all others. But this is just a hypocritical picnic. Is that to say yes, we are so happy we do that all things, yeah. And this is nothing with this is nothing not sentimental. It's nothing with feeling. It's just organized so. And but all other things is not important. It's just the Warsaw organization, this real estate selling, to go on the street, to put these magazines in on the street and show to the people that this is the real estate, Warsaw real estate, to selling Kingdom House. And this is the Warsaw organization, the same identic person as Humberdin. This COPPELIA syndrome, that if you are long time in this organization, you lose your feeling, you lose your sentiments, you lose all conception of beautiful life, to smiling, to be happy, to be connected to everything. Yeah, God created a beautiful world, and we live in a beautiful world, to be connected to everything. Yeah, I see some people, they is a little bit exaggerated, that put the hand on the trees and all, but it's beautiful. But these people are connected, you know. They are connected. They have a pleasure. They instantly they are connected. Say, we see, and this is a good idea, that to say, I take the best of this moment. I am connected to the beautiful part of the life, and we go swimming in the sea, and after we go in the world, and then this stuff and this stuff, and beautiful. This is beautiful things, yeah. And God created all these things, all this stuff for us. We are happy here to live for that. And also, as we see the story of Job. Job also was a blessed person, was a blessed man, and even God give all desire of his heart what was given. So recently I speak with the Jehovah's Witnesses. So I have still I have a brother in Jehovah's Witness organization. Oh, I have more, but I want just to say that Ken from South Africa is a big brother for me, and we speak so many times, and we speak about this pleasure. And he is so he is such a person that he do such things. He have pleasure in life, and not pleasure to do stupid things, but pleasure to go with friends out have a drink somewhere and have just pleasure in life, and this is beautiful. And this is just the contrary from the Coppelia syndrome, because just to go deeper in these things, in this organization, this Coppelia syndrome is exists 100%. And I like that when Jesus say about the Jews, when say that some people was sent as that seems to be just, but they was just there to find something in their words to deliver to the governors, And this is the same, exactly the same life in the Watchtower organization. When you see this Watchtower organization, that the same stuff exists in this organization. That they are just there, and they try to find motives to watching you. They watch what you do, and imagine the whole day they watch the errors of persons. They watch constantly. They analyze what other persons do, and they watching and watching the whole day. They watch and spies you. They send spies, and when they don't know, so they want to know everything about you and send their wives, send the ministerial servant and put question, what is that and what you do. When I fasted, I do fasting, say me, Ludovic, how is your fasting? And I begin to explain and put question. I explain that and I say this is very normal. Normally, should everybody do that? So, and after I was convocated, Ludovic, you say that and that and that, these men are sick persons. This is the Coppelia syndrome. They lose all their humanity. They have nothing human in these things. And this is amazing to see in this organization how people are transformed by these man doctrines, because everything what they say, everything, all the Watchtower doctrines are humans doctrines. When you watch everything, the whole organization, this all man doctrines is that. It's nothing written in the Bible. Not the suites and the costume and all this stuff is nowhere is written, yeah. And all this stuff, but I don't want to go deeper into that because I made already a video about it, and if it's necessary I made another one. But this is marvelous to see that this Coppelia syndrome is really how deep is anchored in this Jehovah's Witness organization. These cold personalities, and also elderly sisters. They are like elders, they watching and behind, speak behind the people. They go there and tell them and say, yes, I want just to say to you, it's terrible. I had such a sister, an elderly sister, and I do not need to hear what she said, because I watch his eyes and I see they speak about me something, yeah. And this is terrible, is that. And I like it that because in this book, when I read that, I made a parallels with the Jehovah's Witness organization. And when Oliver speak about all this relationship with Hamadin, he say that, listen, his person is just simply, he forget all. And this happens for me also, because at what time I begin to forget, I begin to do not more realize. I was tired, and this all rubbish, garbage, this washout study and all this stuff, and had time for nothing. I worked night and I realized one time I made a big error. I made a big error, not error because it was not really error, but brother, I say something. I say, oh, listen, I read something in the Bible, and I give a Bible text, and I say, oh, I made a photo from a Jewish Bible, and I do not more remember that I do not take it from the Bible. It was the Bible, but wasn't on the internet, and he was very kind because he explained me, Ludovic, you see, you made an error, and this was an alert for me because this was such a things that is not is small things, but he awake me that I not really more control what I forget it. How is possible, and even I was myself that I mixed what I say, you go on the internet, the Centurion Elementary Bible, I don't know which Bible was, because we speak about Proverb 4:23, but I just wanted to say that long time you are in this organization, you have this COPPELIA syndrome, yeah. You transform slowly, like this cyborg that transformed. He lose all humanity, and I paid that with my own feelings. I paid that with my own experience, yeah. And this is all what I want today speak about that, because I was marveled that such similarity exists. But this is really, when you see that, I read this book, a big book, I read that, but the whole book, he gives me the feeling that every time when I read this book, and I just want to commend you to read that book. This book is Fabrice Collin, the face of humanity, and this was the human potential, yeah, 0.487. This was the book, yeah, and this I can commend you to read that, because the whole time when I was on the reading, it's so many things. I imagine that this Fabrice Collin was a Jehovah's Witness, yeah. They speak so precisely, yeah. Speak so precisely that people come to you and do this and that, and humble in, calm, and is just interested on the business of the petrol station, and this, like the same things when you say Jehovah's Witness, they must do only for watch hour. Everything is for watch hour, and this is marvelous. So I hope that also this made more light on this this cult, and also these ideas you can compare with this organization, and hope you like it that, and I thank you so much for your attention, and now if you want to stay with me, I will do the same thing in French, yeah. So thank you very much, have a good night, and